Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today because we have some very exciting General Hospital news to talk about, and it's definitely worth the wait. You know, I was sitting in my favorite chair the other day, coffee in hand, when General Hospital came on and pulled me right in like it always does. Let me tell you, this storyline with Ava Jerome and Alexis Davis is really something special. Those two strong, smart women took a trip up to Manhattan, and what they found there has given them plenty to think about. Thanks to Apollo, they uncovered a real important piece of Delilah Wilson's past that I don't think many people expected. In the episode on May 29, I was watching closely, and you could see the surprise written all over their faces. Apollo showed them a photograph that clearly connects Delilah and Ethan Lovett. The way Ava and Alexis looked at each other after seeing that picture, well, it made me lean forward on the couch. You could tell their minds were spinning. I've always liked both Ava and Alexis. They're not the kind of women who miss the small details. They're sharp, experienced, and they've been through a lot in their lives. So I'm sure right now they're sitting there asking themselves the same question many of us fans have been wondering for weeks. Could Ethan Lovett actually be the father of Delilah's baby? There have been so many little hints and clues along the way that it's hard not to believe it might be true. My wife and I were talking about it later that evening. She said, you know, it would make so much sense. And I agreed with her completely. The way the story's been building, it feels like everything is pointing in that direction. But you know how General Hospital is, they love to keep us guessing. They still haven't come right out and confirmed that little Phoebe is Ethan's daughter. The show is playing it slow, and that suspense is what makes it so much fun to watch. I have to say, it's really interesting seeing Ava and Alexis working together on this. Two women who haven't always seen eye to eye, now digging into the same mystery. It reminds me of how life is sometimes. People who seem so different end up needing each other to figure things out. I wonder what they're going to do with this new information. Are they going to confront Ethan, or will they keep watching and waiting to see what happens next? This whole thing has me hooked, I'll tell you that. Every day I look forward to turning on the show to see what new twist they're going to throw at us. Delilah's story, little Phoebe, and now this clear link to Ethan. It's getting deeper and more emotional. I feel for all the characters involved. Raising a child is never easy, especially when the truth about the father is hanging in the air like this. Anyway, I'm right there with Ava and Alexis, turning all these thoughts over in my head. This trip to Manhattan might just be the beginning of something big. I can't wait to see where the writers take this story. If you've been watching too, I bet you're just as curious as I am. You know, the more I think about it, the more I believe the writers might have a big twist already planned in their heads. Or maybe they're saving it for that powerful moment when Ethan finally admits he's the father of that sweet little girl. Either way, it's got me excited to see what happens next. When Alexis and Ava get back to Port Charles, I have a feeling they're going to handle this news in two very different ways. Those two women are strong, but they sure don't think the same. On the June 4 episode, it looks like someone's going to warn Ethan, and my guess is it'll be Alexis. She's the type who faces things head on. I can just picture her sitting him down and telling him everything about that photograph they found in Manhattan. She'll probably explain how serious this could get for him. Alexis might even look him straight in the eye and say something like, if Phoebe really is your daughter, you need to decide right now whether you can live with not raising her. I like that about Alexis. She's always been a mother herself, so she understands how deep these things go. She's helping with the adoption, so I bet she's really worried that Ethan might change his mind at the last minute and break Brooklyn, Quartermain, and Harrison Chase's hearts. Those two have been through enough already, and they've opened their home and their hearts to that baby. But you know what? I think Ethan might surprise everyone. He could look Alexis right back and tell her he knows exactly what he's doing and has no plans to stop the adoption. That would be a relief, wouldn't it? And I think that's probably why the spoilers say Alexis will have some good news to share later. She might decide to keep quiet about Ethan's connection to Delilah when she talks to Brooklyn and Chase. Can you imagine her telling them she hasn't found any family members for Phoebe? It would be a little white lie to protect everyone's happiness. I have to admit, this part of the story really touches me. Adoption is such a beautiful thing, but the truth about a child's real parents can make everything complicated. I've seen enough in my own life to know that secrets like this don't always stay hidden forever. Still, my wife and I both hope things work out smoothly for little Phoebe. Every child deserves a loving home. It'll be interesting to see how Ava feels about all this when they return. She might push for the truth to come out, while Alexis wants to protect the adoption. Two smart, tough women seeing the same situation in completely different lights. That's what makes General Hospital so good. It feels real, just like life. I'm sitting here counting the days until June 4, wondering how Ethan's going to react and what Alexis will choose to do. This story has me hooked, and I bet a lot of you watching feel the same way. It's not just drama, it's about love, choices, and what it really means to be a parent. You know, if Alexis tries to handle this situation with care and a soft touch, then Ava Jerome is almost certainly going to take a completely different road. That woman has always had her own fiery way of doing things, and I don't see her changing now. On the June 5 episode, I have a strong feeling she's going to corner Ethan and put him right up against the wall. There's been some real tension building between Ava and Ethan ever since he treated her so roughly during that messy misunderstanding involving Rick Lansing and Sonny Corinthos. I remember watching those scenes and thinking how uncomfortable it felt. Ava doesn't forget things like that easily. Now, with this fresh information about Delilah and little Phoebe, I bet Ava feels like she's finally holding all the cards and she's going to play them her way. I can just picture it now, Ava walking up to Ethan with that confident look in her eyes and confronting him straight out about being Phoebe's real father. She won't beat around the bush. She'll push him hard, demanding that he admit the truth to her face. Knowing Ava's personality, she might even throw in some strong threats if he tries to deny it or brush her off. It could head into some pretty risky territory, maybe even sounding a bit like blackmail. She might look him dead in the eye and warn him not to cross her again, or else she'll let everyone know about the secret he's been working so hard to keep quiet. What makes it even more interesting is that Ava could also tell Ethan that from now on, whenever she needs help or a favor, he'd better step up without any hesitation. She's always been the type of character who knows how to turn a situation to her advantage, and this feels like one of those classic Ava moments where she collects leverage and holds onto it tight. The latest spoilers from General Hospital are pretty clear that Ava and Ethan are heading straight into another big confrontation, no matter how things go. Their history together, plus this new bombshell about the baby, is like lighting a match near dry grass. It's bound to get explosive. I've been watching this show long enough to know that when Ava feels she has the upper hand, she doesn't let go easily. This whole storyline really makes me think about how complicated life can be sometimes. People make mistakes, secrets get buried, and then one day the past comes knocking on the door. I feel a little sorry for Ethan because he's clearly been trying to keep this quiet, but at the same time, I understand why Ava is pushing so hard. She's a survivor, and she protects herself the only way she knows how. At the end of the day, my wife and I will be glued to the screen to see how this all plays out. Will Ethan fight back? Will Ava actually follow through with her threats? Or will something unexpected happen that changes everything? That's the beauty of General Hospital. It keeps surprising us even after all these years. I've always enjoyed stories like this because they feel so human. They show us that even the toughest characters have weaknesses and that every choice comes with consequences. No matter how this turns out, I know it's going to be full of emotion and drama, and I'm here for every single minute of it. This might end up being one of those storylines we talk about for weeks with friends and family.